Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to your tarot reading for Aries season. If you're expecting me to say for the week ahead, go and check out the channel update on another video, and you'll find out as to why. There's some very, very exciting updates there. But as ever, take what's helpful, leave what isn't, and always get the messages to fit into your life rather than the other way around. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bells as ever. And leave a comment or emoji below. Love to hear from you. So we start with a pair of the Hanged Man and the Knight of Pentacles. The most obvious interpretation of these two cards in tandem, in combination, is stillness. Now, that doesn't necessarily, it's kind of up to you, Sagittarius. Unsurprisingly, the fact that we have Sagittarius in Aries season would usually indicate a time for dynamicism, a time for moving forward, getting on the speeding train, launching ahead with either projects or goals or hopes. And there's something slightly there's a slight mismatch here. It's not necessarily in of itself negative or bad, as all things, it's our interpretation, therefore. You may be being invited by the universe, with all the kind of energies to go around, just to take a break, to find a moment of pause, to stop, take stock, and look at, okay, what's the best course of action? Where's the best place to be putting my energies, actions? It doesn't want you. There's something about this spread that is guarding you against just charging ahead, of expelling energy and resource unnecessarily. Now, the kind of issue with that is you may feel at times, as we can see with the Hanged Man, he's kind of got the hands tied behind his back. Now, a lot of people, there's a lot of misunderstanding about the Hanged Man. For me, it's a beautiful card. It's a card of self-surrender. It's a card that represents the great spiritual leaders, Buddha, Jesus, Odin, all of those people that had to change their perspective. The Hanged Man, he's hung by the foot and not the neck. So it is about him needing to flip himself upside down to look at things differently, so he can go, okay, that's the reality of things. That's how things truly are. It's not that. That's just an illusion. It's really this. It's ultimately the card of enlightenment. So it's not a bad card by any means. It can, however, indicate stillness, as I said right at the beginning, because often what is required in order to gain that insight and to gain that that fresh perspective, what is required is, right, I'm going to slightly retract, I'm going to pull myself away and look at things objectively. This is a message that actually came up for Leo as well, this need for objectivity, but that need for objectivity very much coming from other people or the advice of other people. Here it feels a bit more of a solo enterprise. But that combination may feel initially frustrated. I want to get going. I want to get moving. Now, they're just asking me to clarify, this is not a reason or excuse for idleness. There's no point going, well, I can't do anything anyway. That's not the purpose here. The purpose here is, okay, if I'm not able to charge forward or move forward in the way that I'd anticipated or I'd hoped, look at the alternative. What is being opened up for you instead? And that isn't complacency, that isn't idleness, that isn't, well, I might as well just twiddle my thumbs. It's rather, okay, let me get a fresh perspective. Let me take some time, journal, to do a vision board, to reconnect with what my ambitions were for the beginning of the year, to kind of look at all my finances, whatever you're doing that is a stock take is going to be invaluable. there is a kind of cautious carol energy sometimes of the Knight of Pentacles, but sometimes caution is useful. It's not about intimidation. It's not about necessarily being scared. There's a bit more I want to say on that in a moment, and you might have to check in with yourself. But the Knight of Pentacles is very much that preparatory stage. You can see in the background he's furrowed the arable land. Agrable land. Let me know in the comments below what word that's meant to be. He's furrowed it. He's getting it in preparation for the seeds that he's going to plant later on. And that is very much, that doesn't necessarily represent the whole of Aries season for you, Sagittarius, but I would say that that's a really, really important place to start. You know, sometimes it sounds a bit silly, but if you're clearing out a drawer and you pull it out and you just lay everything out that was in that drawer, contained in that drawer, so that you can get an overview and go, right, I don't need that, I don't need that, no, that's really useful, that's really good, and then you put it back into the drawer, beautifully organized. That's the kind of approach here. And I don't feel that it is so much about decluttering space. I've just had to check in. I feel that it's more to do with doing that in a kind of metaphoric sense or a life sense. Where are you placing energy unnecessarily? Because Aries would probably encourage you, as I said before, to just charge ahead and get on with things. And there's very much this energy. No, 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 no. Hold back. Wait. Hold your horses before we plow on. Aries represents the beginning of a new zodiacal year. So we could almost treat this as a bit like a new year. I often see spring as the new year because it's the time that we spring forward. You know, January to me is a very odd place to have the new year because we're still in the depths of hibernation. We're still kind of slowly coming out of that. So I would treat this time for you, Sagittarius, as your energetic new year. We then move on to the moon. So there is a kind of slight message here of just check in with yourself of, am I procrastinating? Is this stock check a covering up, a masking of worry or fear about stepping forward? Because the moon very much represents our fears. You can see the wolf and the dog baying at the moon because they don't quite understand it. You've got this lobster coming out of the pools of the subconscious, and we've got this path winding up through the mountains. And it's not a straight path whatsoever. It has twists and turns. It has highs and lows. And it's a recognition of that. It's understanding that not everything is just smooth sailing, and that's okay. That's the way that we learn. It is through the challenges, it is through adversity that we learn the most about ourselves. So just, yes, I want you to do that stock check, but I don't want you to do it to such a degree that it becomes an inhibitor for you. I would almost give yourself a deadline, say, right, I'm going to spend 2 weeks on this. I'm going to collate, I'm going to get everything together for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to start branching out a little bit. Something that is very much echoed with the Nine of Wands in reverse, the Lord of Established Strength in reverse. I see this very much as a card of letting your guard down and the need for that. There's often quite a tense energy you can see with the Nine of Wands. He's kind of slightly battle worn and slightly frightened, for want of a better term, word, around the surroundings. So it's a little reminder, it's okay to put your guard down, not only with regards to other people, but the universe as well. And the moment that, and there's a kind of feeling as well of this really reiterating this sense of hold your horses, and then the gate comes down, then you can move forward in the path. There's something else that I want to say on this Nine of Wands. It's just a reminder here just to be open and very, very receptive to what the universe throws your way. Sometimes we can have too much of a dogged viewpoint of, right, this is going to happen in this way, and I can't be distracted by anything else because I've got to make this happen. So there's a balance here. It's all about balance of yes, do the stop check. Yes, have a plan. Yes, have a vision. Then let go, and then see where things take you. That is the way to go. Something that is beautifully summarized with the Justice card energy. The Justice, to me, yes, it can represent justice. It can represent law, judicial systems, contracts. So maybe some of that is going on for you this season. But for me, the Justice card very strongly represents the 12 universal laws, things like cause and effect, the law of economy, what happens in the one happens in the whole, all of these natural laws that exist in the world. And to me, the one of cause and effect is very important here, as too is the law of attraction. Being very mindful and very aware of what we're putting out is going to come back to us. If we're putting out worry, the things that we're worrying about, one of my favorite quotes is, worrying is like praying for the things we don't want. It's brilliant. So make sure that you're not doing that. It's a bit like I'm teaching you how to suck eggs, because Sagittarius is the most optimistic of star signs, and it can have this vision. But because of this seeming stuckness at the beginning, you may slip into frustration, worry, fear, as represented by the moon. But it is a reminder, no, don't put that energy out there in the world. Put in that optimism, put out that hope, put in that everything will be fine, everything's happening for a reason. And then more of those wonderful experiences will come back and be attracted to you. So very good. So I shall see you. Well, it's a bit complicated because I will be releasing this obviously for Taurus season, but there are other videos coming out. If you want to understand more about that, then as I mentioned right at the beginning of this video, go and check out the channel update. Does that reading help? Does it resonate? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to check out your sun, moon and rising sign for a full 360 look at this season. If you're not sure how to do that, you can check the pinned comment below. You can also find a link there of how to sign up to email notifications so you never miss your astro reading again. But until next time, have a wonderful month.